Pastor Julian here with Central's devotion for today. I hope you're doing well. So, directions. Directions are something that some people will follow to a T and other people will just totally disregard. It doesn't matter if you're driving on a road or if you're preparing a meal or assembling something or cleaning using a special cleaner. There are going to be people who are more likely to follow the directions step by step, and others that will disregard the directions or portions of the directions. For instance, my wife and I are a little bit different in that way, in that I will always follow the directions on a prepackaged box of food, and she tends to follow her own directions. And just to clarify, sometimes when I follow the directions, the food winds up ruined. And when she doesn't follow the directions, the food will end up phenomenal. So there's just a differentiation there. Sometimes the directions are wrong, and you need to figure out your own way. And my wife spends a little bit more time in the kitchen, so she's more savvy with that. So I'm going to read to you today, since we are in Lent and we are moving into Easter week, I want to read to you a passage that coincides with Easter week. This is after the triumphant entry, or the triumphal entry, and this is explaining what's happening before the Last Supper. This is Luke chapter 22, verses 7 to 13. Then they came to the day of unleavened bread, on which the Passover lamb had to be sacrificed. So Jesus sent Peter and John, saying, "Go and prepare the Passover for us, that we may eat it." And they said to him, "Where will you have us prepare it?" Jesus said to them, "Behold, when you have entered the city, a man carrying a jar of water will meet you. Follow him into the house that he enters, and tell the master of the house, 'The teacher says to you, where is the guest room, where I may eat the Passover with my disciples?' And he will show you a large upper room furnished. Prepare it there." And they went and they found it, just as he had told them, and they prepared the Passover. So John and Peter are supposed, Jesus commissions them to go and prepare the Passover meal, arguably the most significant celebration and holiday in the Jewish culture. And Jesus knows what's coming, and he knows that he is the Passover lamb that's going to be sacrificed. But I want to focus more on Peter and John. Where are we supposed to prepare this thing? And Jesus tells them some very specific instructions. "Behold, when you have entered the city," so you're going to enter the city, enter the city, "a man carrying a jar of water will meet you." That sounds very specific and odd, that a man carrying a jar of water is going to meet you. Okay, sure. This mysterious man with a jar of water will meet us. No name. So they're not going to ask around for this guy. Just a man carrying a jar of water will meet you. Follow him into the house that he enters, and tell the master of the house, "The teacher says to you, where is the guest room, where I may eat the Passover with my disciples?" So here you're going into a house of a stranger, someone you don't even know, and you're saying, where the teacher says, where is the guest room where he may eat the Passover with the disciples? Boy, that's a very unexpected situation, even if things make it to that point and you're in this person with the jar of water's master's house, that they will respond kindly to you and even show you a place. But then Jesus says, and then they'll show you a large upper room that is furnished, and ready for you to prepare the Passover meal. These are very specific directions that Jesus gives. And I could totally understand if Peter and John, nervous that they have to prepare this Passover meal, if they're like, Jesus has given us some crazy instructions, let's just go and make sure that we have a place. And maybe we'll follow some of these directions, but I know such and such, and maybe we can get their place. And then they go their own way and maybe find out, no. What they do is they follow Jesus' directions exactly as Jesus gave them. And you know what? They went and they found it just as Jesus had told them. And they prepared the Passover meal. We see a similar story to this back in Luke 19. When before Jesus enters Jerusalem, he sends his disciples, he says, go into the town, you're going to find 2 donkeys tied up. There's going to be a mother and a colt. Get them, bring them here to me. And sure enough, that's what happens. But here's what I'm getting at. Jesus gives us some very specific instructions. Jesus is trustworthy and reliable when he gives us instructions and directions. And we should follow those directions as closely as we possibly can, because then we will find that upper room. We will find that heaven that he talks about and that celebration of salvation with him. So you follow Jesus' instructions and his directions, and you are going to find your way to him. God bless you and have a great day.